I have tested 5 pairs of the best heated gloves that I could find on Amazon. The prices range from $63 all the way up to $169. My tests include the best heat pad size and placement, maximum temperature of the heat pads, battery life, insulation, effectiveness of the touchscreen capability, and waterproofing. First up is the Savior brand. It is $169 and it is all leather on the exterior, the fingers, the palms. It's soft leather. The interior is a cotton and polyester blend, and these definitely have that wonderful leather smell. Next up is the Velazio, coming in at $79. The exterior is polyester and spandex, the lining is knitted polyester, and the insulation is Thinsulate and polyester. The outside has a very soft fabric-like feel, and the palm has a kind of a rubbery plastic-like feel to it. Third in our lineup is the Lycion, which was $65. There is no tag that says the materials on this one, but I suspect it's also polyester on the outside. It has that rubbery plastic for the palm, and it does have a tag that says it contains the 3M Thinsulate. The Nevelin, coming in at $67, also has the polyester and spandex outer shell with the knitted polyester lining and Thinsulate polyester. Finally, we have the Unigear coming in at just $63. The exterior is leather polyester and spandex, and the interior is polyester. It has leather padding on the knuckles and in the palm. Now, if you hadn't heard already, I have hired some help. This guy, Ethan, who's going to be helping me put out great content right here on this very channel, so be on the lookout for his videos. He's got some incredible flashlights coming your way. 3 of our pairs of gloves came in sturdy cardboard boxes. 2 of them did not. Those 2, the Velazio and the Nevelin, look like they're going to end up being the same pair of gloves with just different brand names on them. They came instead in a zippered pouch that has compartments for the batteries and the charger. The Savior brand pair included this tote in the box, and the Lycion brand included this sack. You can see this thermal camera does a pretty good job of showing the heat mapping, even through my clothes, my shirt, my jeans, and even through my tennis shoes, which are relatively thin. So I did a quick test and pulled each of the gloves over my hand to see if they would block all of the heat, basically testing the insulation in each of them. Completely makes my hand disappear like a magic trick. That is the Savior, Velazio, Lycion, Nevelin, Unigear. One thing I did notice when I was doing this is with the Lycion, when I turn my hand around, the glove is not on. That's just the hot spot from the switch from having the battery just plugged in, and if I touch that to my face, I can feel that it's a little bit warm, which means there's probably something draining the battery right there. The next thing I did was to turn all the gloves on and let them warm up so I could see where the thermal pads on each glove are. To me, it looks like the Lycion and the Unigear are warming up the fastest, but that could also just mean that they have thinner padding on them too. Okay, during this time I noticed that some of the gloves have warm-up timers. Basically, you turn them on and they warm up, and then when they do, they kick from high down to medium. You can see the Velazio and the Nevelin just did that. The Savior also has this function, so I'll turn those up and then continue warming them for another minute, and then we'll try them on. There is no doubt when you put that on, it feels like it just came out of the dryer on high. All across the back of my hand. I can feel it a little bit on the bottom part of my hand too. I think that the Savior does have the thermal pad right through here. You can see where it's kind of white. I think the rest of it is mostly on the back. Velazio. It feels about like it looks on the heat map. Pretty hot through here. Like the pads don't go quite all the way to the fingertip, but they're pretty close. Wow. This one, this Leashion, is so across the knuckles and everything right here. It is so warm that I mean, it was like hot when I put my hand in there. It was incredible. So far, this one's definitely the warmest. And again, that might be because the padding is thinner, but when you put it on, it is intense. Neverland. And the Unigear. Again, I wish you guys could feel this right now. It is so intense. When that glove has been sitting there warming up, I mean, it makes it feel like your knuckles are on fire, but in a good way. I went ahead and took my laser thermometer and did a test on the outside and the inside, and this isn't a super accurate test because it does not account for how thick the padding is on everything, but I got pretty close to the same temperatures on all of them. Okay, for the runtime test, all I'm going to do is just turn these on since they've all got a light and come back about every 30 minutes or so and check on them and see whose light dies first and last. Our first competitor to drop out was the Neverland at 2 hours 22 minutes runtime, followed by the Savior at 2 hours 36 minutes. Unigear was next at 2 hours 41 minutes. Velazio lasted 2 hours 51 minutes, and the Leashion was 3 hours and 13 minutes. For the waterproof test, I duct taped the end of all of the gloves closed, turned them all on, let them warm up, and then I ran them under a stream of water for 5 seconds each to see how well they would shed water. To me, it appeared that the Velazio and the Neverland tied for first, followed by the Unigear, then Leashion, then Savior. Okay, it's been about 30 minutes. Time to dig everybody up. They're pretty damp. We'll see. They feel pretty wet. I weighed the gloves before and after the waterproofing test to see how much water weight they had taken on. Looking at the Velazio and the Neverland, I think that there must have been some flaw in my test, like maybe on the Velazio, the water got past the duct tape on one of the gloves maybe, because I can see no reason why there would be such a vast difference. I turned the gloves off and then let them all cool down for a little while. When I tried them on, I couldn't feel any significant dampness in a single pair, even though the outsides felt pretty wet. Each of the square packs is rated similarly, 2200 milliamp, 2500 milliamp, 2200. These two have a cylindrical pack, and I think that they probably have inside of here either an 18650 or maybe even a 21700. The Savior came with a USB charging capability. It included a brick. Both the Velazio and the Nevelin, same thing. You've got USB capability. It came with the power brick, but also on these, this is USB-C. You can plug a USB-C directly into that, so you could potentially charge this even if you didn't have your brick with you. All of the others just have this 3.5 millimeter jack. The Leashion is the only one. This is your only way to charge here, is the wall wart. The Unigear is also has USB, and it has the USB-C adapter. It did not come with the wall wart. The trick to making pretty much any of these work with your phone is sort of just to find the sweet spot. That tends to be kind of one of the sharper edges where the materials come together. The Savior really only works well. This first finger, this is your touch sensitive place here. The thumb and none of the other fingers really work. The Velazio and the Nevelin, basically anywhere this plastic is, but you gotta kind of catch it along these rims for the best results. It works on the fingers and the thumb. The Leashion, same thing, where the plastic is, with one exception. It does actually have some plastic on the end of this first finger that does seem to kind of help if you want to use the tip of this finger. The Unigear, it's this first finger, and it also has the touch sensitivity on the thumb. These can be a little bit hit or miss, but with some practice, you can even dial a phone number. It's pretty reactive. Let's do a phone number. 555-1212. Leashion. Let's try a phone number. 555-1212. Unigear. Tip of my finger. Flat part of my finger. Thumb. So what are my top picks? A few of them are really close. I mean, it's like splitting hairs. I can for sure tell you what my least favorite pair is. That's the Leashion. Even though they felt the hottest when I put them on, I can't get past that the switch drains the battery when the glove is off. So much so that it showed up on our heat map. Also, I'm looking at the charger and I'm thinking, wall warts were a great way to charge batteries in 2016. For my number one pick, I'm going to have to say the Nevelin. At $67, that's a deal. They're comfortable, they have a long gauntlet, by far the best charging system, and they were the most hydrophobic. The only negative thing that I can say about them is that large round battery, it can be kind of awkward. Both it and the Velazio have the battery storage compartment on the back, and I do notice it on my arm bone somewhat. In second place, I'm going to have to go with our cheapest pair, the Unigear. They feel great. I like the look of them and the leather reinforcement. Their lay-flat battery design is so comfortable, I could completely forget it's there. The only negative for me is that the battery pouch is inside the glove, and it makes it a lot harder to get in and out. I wish that I could have this pair with a big zipper on the outside. Velazio came in third just because it's $12 more than the Nevelin. The Savior came in fourth. It's a warm glove made from nice leather, and it's the only one that came with a battery indicator. But I felt like the price was a little high. $100 more just because it's leather.